Now, last Saturday morning, I received a call from one of our listeners, Sandy. And as I said at the start of this hour, since we aired that call, we have been inundated with callers and also emailers wanting to replay and hear it. Hear the call for those who may have missed it. Now, to set this up, Sandy called us and she is giving her opinions about the Voice to Parliament and the referendum as well. Now, this is entirely her opinion. It's not my opinion. This is entirely her opinion. And this is what she had to say in regards to the Voice to Parliament and the referendum on my weekend show last Saturday. And it is very interesting what she says.
I just wanted to share a couple of things because if you don't know, I'm an original sovereign tribal descendant. We've been dealing with a lot. There's a lot of infiltrating going on out there, and it's not coming from our people. It's coming from other sources that are pushing the yes agenda. People do not have any bloodline connection to our tribes, within our nations and our tribes and our clans. And the government are using other people to push the yes agenda into our communities. But not only that, majority of our people have not been consulted, especially our elders. They have been left out in the dark. See, under our law, under tribal law, right, they are our decision makers.
Yes.
So when you've got people coming into our community that are using the younger people against the elders, many of our elders do not understand, but many do, and many don't trust government. So when you come and actually sit down with the old people and you have that yarn with them, they will tell you no. Because if you go back to the 1967 referendum in this country, there was nothing but lies, deceit, against my people. They actually struck out clauses that disempowered my people, our people up on this continent. So you can go back to the 1967 referendum. Let's use as an example. Right, there was two clauses struck out, as you know, 51 in Section 51 and 127.
Yes.
So if you have a look within the Constitution of the trickery behind that actually disempowered the original sovereign tribal people of this continent. And what they did, they imposed laws, they created new laws that they would make laws over our lives and over our affairs, that the government will make the decisions. But see, the 1967 referendum, this was the trickery behind it, because you can't class us as citizens. You can't class the people that belong to that land. You can't class them as citizens in their own country.
So what do you class them as? What do you classify them as, Sandy?
See, a lot of people think that we're in that Constitution. See, this is history repeating itself. We were supposed to already be in there, Pete. So why are we going back to the drawing board to put us in again?
Yeah.
When that was already supposed to be done in 67. But yet when they held the 1967 referendum, what they should have done is that when they held the referendum, the Constitution wasn't included. So when they amended it, they didn't tell the people that they were going to strike out my people, our tribal rights, and disempower us and class us as a race or whatever, and to make laws over our lives. See the trickery right there. And actually what it did was it gave Torres Strait Islander citizenship, PNG descendants citizenship, because you can't make us citizens of our own country. And this is where the trickery lied again. I can go further back into detail about what it led up to, but if you look at everything what Labor has done to my people throughout this continent, they have done nothing good but just pushed an agenda. And every time they're in power, they use our people for this agenda, using our people now to push the agenda and using the Australian people to vote it in. So my advice to all the Australians out there is no, because all our elders have not been consulted. They have not been called to the table. And when you're making decisions about all the tribes in this country, just remember another tribe cannot speak for another tribe.
So you feel as though, and your elders are just getting no communication from any politicians or anything. Is that correct?
Because they use the younger gen because they're greedy for money. They bribe them, they con them, and everything they're doing is that they're throwing all this money. Now, let's talk about all this money. They say that they want to, Linda Burney and them all, Noel Pearce and them all, look at the same leaders that have been sitting there for so long. All they do every election when Labor is out and Liberals are in and Liberals out and Labor in, these black so-called leaders, right, just because of the colour of their skin don't mean they speak for us nor represent us, because the people out here at a grassroots level don't feel the same. These people are handpicked, cherry-picked, self-appointed without our input. So these people just swap seats. So when Labor's in government, these are the same people working together. They all sleep in the same bed. They're all eating at the same table. Believe it or not, we don't look at them as our representatives. They are not our leaders because they're just selling out our people and our country.
Do you have a message for the Prime Minister? What would you like to say to the Prime Minister?
Albanese, you need to be truthful to the Australian people. You need to be telling my people the true agenda, because there's two different kinds of sovereignty in this country. You can be sovereign to your own autonomy, right, within oneself. And then you've got the sovereign to the land, which are the original tribal sovereign descendants of this continent. So when you talk about a referendum and that you want to put us in a constitution, we need it in writing that you will not, that this Australia corporate government will not supersede our sovereignty, nor take away our tribal rights over our lands that actually protects Australian people. The Australian people are protected under our national sovereignty, Pete. And this is what a lot of people don't understand when we talk about our sovereignty. And the Australian corporate government, you've got to go back in 1973. You need to tell the people about 1973. Under the Gulf Whitlam government, right, they never held a referendum to establish their corporation upon this continent. So how about they start there, go back in history and start telling the truth? A lot of Australians out there think that, you know, the Aboriginal people of this continent, that we get all this money. Our people never see it because it goes through that many organisation, government agents that all look after one another, that it never reaches the ground, Pete. So it's been set in the mind, and a lot of Australians and our people need to come together in unity to realise that the greater strategic planning of the government is to know how to divide and conquer a people. But may I just say this, Pete? This country has never been run by Australia. If you think Australia is being run by the Australian government, you better think twice, because in 1973 they established their corporation, and it's actually being run by a foreign corporation. We are under foreign jurisdiction. Not really in their fake realm we are, but I'm telling you, we are being controlled by America, and this is where Australia needs to stand up against it, and we need to unite as a people. My advice and my message to the Albanese government is that stop selling out this country. Protect this country. Protect every human being upon this continent, and stop selling us out. Stop doing deals with the devil and start standing up for the people. Because the people, we need true leaders. We need true leadership in this country, Pete. And right now, they are not our leaders. The government no longer serve the people. And they need to be stood down, the whole lot of them. My people don't realise, Pete, once you put us into the Constitution, once we're voted into that Constitution, we automatically cede our rights over our land and our sovereignty. We now just became Australia corporate subjects or British subjects, whatever you want to call it. The Crown left here in 73 when they established their corporation. So when they say, oh, we will disclose, the government, Albanese and his government, we will disclose everything after the referendum. Well, this is a trickery again, Pete. Because once my people are put into that constitution, not only have they ceded their sovereignty, you no longer have any rights over your country. You just signed it away.
There you go. So that was last Saturday morning. A call from Sandy in regards to her opinions on the Voice to Parliament, her opinions